Hello, friends. Welcome back to the cabin. This is Tim Martin with Covenant Creation on YouTube. We have a guest today with Steve Magua. Hi, Steve. How are you doing?
Hey, Tim. Great to be a guest in my cabin.
Yes. It's time to talk about the 2025 Montana Conference, the Eschatology of Genesis. We have an update for the audience and maybe for those that are considering attending and things. So it'd be a good time to catch up and let everybody know how everything's going in the planning for July 22nd through 25th. So what do you think, Steve? How are things going on the planning?
Well, things seems to be picking up pretty good. Actually, within the last, I would say, just 2 or 3 weeks, we've had a flurry of activity with the people purchasing the tickets, people signing on. So everything is starting to really look up. And I think that's what we were expecting once the weather started to break and people now begin to make their summer plans. I think that's what we are seeing now. So it's all looking great.
Okay, so let's tell everybody, in case they haven't heard the details, what we're planning, and then we'll go over maybe some schedule and some ideas for touring and for visiting kind of a vacation conference. So we had talked about having a destination conference with preterist speakers that talk about the eschatology of Genesis, but it won't be a weekend conference like you see very often with preterist conferences. You have like people coming in on Friday or Saturday and then Sunday schedule, and then everybody leaves to go home on Monday. So tell us what the plan is for this particular conference in Montana.
Yes. So as Tim has just mentioned, Ask the Pastor, which is the online ministry of the church at the well here in St. Louis, Missouri, has partnered with Beyond Creation Science and Covenant Gardens with Tim Martin in Montana. And we are holding a joint conference in Sothwest Montana. And the way that we envision this and the way that we have planned it is that we want to do both the conference activities, but also some vacation time. Go and see the country, go and see the beautiful scenery in Montana. So we will have a situation where we have the conference lectures in the evenings of every day, starting out on Tuesday through Friday. So Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday, July the 22nd to the 25th. Then during the day, from morning all the way up to about 4:30, we will encourage people just to go out and see the museums, go out to the different sites, Yellowstone, and hopefully towards the end anyway. But there are many places to go and see, to go do some tubing, fishing, hiking, whatever the case may be. And then in the evenings from about 5:30 to 9:30, then we will get together, eat together, and also receive some great lectures and messages from wonderful men of God that are going to be joining us. So that's the general plan.
Yeah, and I was going to say, we have all the details about what's available in the area for touring and vacation time at my website, beyondcreationscience.com. It's the second or third link there on the homepage. You can click through, and that gives you all the details about the area, some hotel lodging arrangements. We have open camping available at the venue as well, if people want to save some money and drive their camper out, or just, if they're into camping and stuff, they can do that right there on site. That's free of charge with the purchase of the tickets. So lots of options. We are a very busy area for summer tourism, so I do recommend making some plans here before too long. And we've got some options of hotels in various towns. The conference will actually be outside of Whitehall, Montana, in a little place called the Copper K Barn, which is an event center, wedding center, 6 miles south of Whitehall, kind of up in the mountains, the Tobacco Root Mountains, real quiet and peaceful place. So you'll need transportation, obviously, to get around in the area. So if you drive, that'd be great. If you figure out some way of carpooling or even rental cars, they're a little expensive in July, but they are available flying into Bozeman or the various areas, the towns in the area for that kind of arrival. So that's kind of some details there, but it's all on the website, beyondcreationscience.com. If you take a look at that, you can see all the details there. And what about the tickets? How much are with the tickets, Steve? And kind of what does that entail as far as coming out?
Very good. Now, with the tickets, when we had done all the planning, we decided that only the parents, only the adults need to get a ticket. So in other words, if you're coming with your kids, you're coming with your family, you don't need to get them tickets. It's only, let's say you're coming as a whole family, only the father and the mother need to get tickets. And the tickets are $100. It's just to cover the cost of bringing the preachers and also, feeding in the evenings and so on and so forth. You can get the tickets one of three ways. The first one, and the one that we recommend that everybody does just for organizational purposes, is off of Eventbrite. And that link is actually going to be on the beyondcreationscience.com website. When you click on that link about the Montana conference, it actually gives you a clickable link to Eventbrite. But let's say there are people who are not comfortable with Eventbrite, you're not digitally comfortable, you can also contact us, and the contact information is there for Anita, who is our secretary. You can send a check, she will give you the address, or you can send in your contribution towards the ticket, or your purchase for the ticket through Cash App or Zelle, which are digital ways of paying for goods and services. That comes directly to the church, and as soon as you do that, then you do have to present and provide your information, email and all that, so that we can send you a receipt, and so that we can also put you on our spreadsheet and make sure that you're well.
Name tags. We'll need name tags for everybody.
Yes. It will need name tags for everybody. Now, I do have to mention the Copper K only has 275 spaces available. The fire marshal requirements, they can only hold 275 people, which of course is a pretty big group of people. We are hoping we can have a full house. Right now, we are actually kind of going towards maybe almost 40 tickets sold through the winter. And we are expecting that's going to pick up because now people are going to start making their plans. So I recommend that as soon as you can, get your ticket. Make sure, even if you're not going through Eventbrite, that you contact myself or Tim or Anita. Make sure your name is on there. Book your place. That way we don't run out of tickets. Tim, our friend Sam, who is our chairman at Ask the Pastor, he wanted to attend the conference over in Berea, at the Berean conference. And I told him I've already registered. So he told me, let me call them and get my tickets. But actually, when he called, all the tickets were gone.
Right.
So he's actually not going to be able to go there. So that's the kind of situation we want to avoid. If you plan to come, this is the time to actually get your ticket, and then that way we can have a good time together.
Yeah, very good. And then we'll need to know if the children are coming as well, because they kind of count at our capacity level too. So we'll just need that information just so we have, everything in order for the planned event. Now, with that ticket, it does come with one meal a day. We're going to have dinner together before we kick everything off with the praise and worship, and then the evening sessions, and then the question and answer time. So now in the mornings, everybody's going to be off, kind of out in the field enjoying Montana. So you kind of have to fend for yourself on that. We're not really going to be, other than just planning and preparation there, we won't be at the venue all day long. It'll be just in the evening. So that's kind of our plan for now. So keep that in mind as well. Right. And I was going to say too, Steve, is that our plan is to release all of the recordings after the conference to the public for free. And this would be a way that, if you've enjoyed Pastor Steve's teaching at Ask the Pastor, his Sunday sermons at the Church at the Well, and if you've enjoyed Covenant Creation on YouTube, my channel, and you want to make a one-time donation, we could use the financial help to get the last of the expenses out of the way. Right? We have a lot of the details taken care of already, but we will be getting flight arrangements for some of the speakers and some traveling organizations. So if you don't plan on coming, but you think this is a valuable thing that you'd like to support, we certainly would take a one-time donation, as small or whatever you think would be helpful, because that will help us kind of finish up the last of the financial planning with trips being made and the airline tickets and things like that. So I'll put that out there. If I've had people ask me if Covenant Creation on YouTube takes donations, and I really don't. But this would be something for the conference that would be something that would be valuable in the future too, once we release all that material from the conference presentation. So
Absolutely.
I thought that would be a good thing to mention as well, and they can contact you directly for that.
Absolutely. Yes, and the same way with now for donations, they would actually not go through the Eventbrite unless one just donates tickets. Actually, I've had one person that said, I am not going to be able to come in, but I actually went there and purchased the ticket.
I heard.
I'm already aware of it. So we will actually use that ticket for somebody else. Now, right. But with the donations, they would need to come through the Zelle, which is and that information is actually on the Beyond Creation Science website, or the Cash App or the checks.
Yeah, sounds good. So let's why don't we show a video a little bit about Montana for the idea of kind of what kind of vacation you could expect and the scenery that we enjoy here. Of course, they make movies here. There's a lot of things to do in the area, outdoors, especially fishing and hiking and various things. But how about if we pull up that video, Steve, and run that here?
Welcome to the land of the shining mountains. Montana is located in the Mountain West subregion of the western side of the United States. The outstanding land area is bordered by Wyoming to the south, Idaho to the west, North and South Dakota to the east, and the famous Canadian provinces of Alberta, British Columbia, and Saskatchewan bordered to the north. Montana offers distinctive flavors. The Big Sky Country is home to millions of acres of national forested lands, wilderness areas, wide open spaces, and modern cities. So come join us this Livingston has been given new life by the arts. It is surrounded by 4 magnificent mountain ranges and nestled beside the spectacular Yellowstone River. Because of its ideal location midway between Bozeman and Billings, it is a great home base for excursions to Yellowstone National Park, which is only 55 miles away. Laying on the Yellowstone River's banks, surrounded by magnificent mountains, Livingston offers a diverse selection of stores, museums, golf courses, galleries, live performances of music and theater, as well as distinctive eateries to suit every preference. Explore Park County to see stunning ranges, enjoyable and busy ranches, and romance under the stars. This Old West town is today defined by restaurants, art galleries, and a vibrant cultural scene, along with easy access to fly fishing, hiking, and hot springs. It's a popular rest point on trips to Yellowstone and a fun weekend getaway from Bozeman, which is 25 miles to the west. Number 2, Bozeman. Bozeman, located in southwest Montana, is one of the most visited cities in Montana due to its dual role as a university city and as the gateway to Yellowstone National Park. The Custer-Gallatin National Forest and Bridger-Bowl area provide a picturesque background for this charming western town, which offers traditional Montana adventures all over the year. This ease of access to wild environments makes Bozeman a hot spot for hiking, fishing, and skiing. The Gallatin River runs near Bozeman and provides opportunities for swimming, fishing, and even kayaking. Or you may also stay active by walking between the various pubs and breweries located in downtown Bozeman's Bermuda Triangle. Bozeman is known for its natural beauty, but it also places a strong emphasis on its culture, history, and arts. The Pioneer Museum, the Museum of the Rockies, the Emerson Center for Arts and Culture, and the surprising but amazing American Computer Museum are great places to start your tour to the city. Number 1. Glacier National Park. Glacier National Park is located in the northwest region of Montana and borders Alberta and British Columbia. It is well known as the crown of the continent ecosystem with over 16,000 square miles of pristine wilderness and shares its title with the Waterston Lakes National Park in southern Alberta, Canada. You can explore unique wildlife species in this vast natural paradise, including rare and endangered animals like grizzly bears and the Canadian lynx, as well as mountain goats and bighorn sheep. This rocky mountain region has been transformed into a surreal alpine landscape with U-shaped valleys, ice-cold lakes, and picturesque mountain peaks by combining heavy snowfalls and centuries-old glaciers. The Going to the Sun Road, which runs 50 miles through Glacier and connects several of the park's most spectacular and popular attractions, is the primary route for tourists. For an up-close and personal experience, you can explore it on foot by getting outside on the hundreds of miles of hiking trails. We do hope you enjoyed our journey to the last best place.
So that gives you some picturesque ideas of what's in the area for touring. And, I would recommend if you're going to come out to Montana for the vacation and the conference, maybe either come out a couple days early and explore Montana, some of the national parks, some of the things to do, or stay a few extra days after the conference as well.
Right.
Because it's a big place. You'll need some time if you're going to really enjoy the vacation opportunity.
Absolutely. Well, Tim, why don't we talk about the speakers?
Okay.
And the what people can expect to learn and to be taught of during the conference. If you can just introduce the speakers.
Sure. We have six speakers lined up and confirmed for our conference. We have Don Preston from Preterist Research Institute in Ardmore, Oklahoma. He's planning on being here as well. He'll be speaking on the death of Adam and the life of Christ. And then we have Jeff Vaughn, my co-author from BeyondCreationScience.com. He worked with me on the book Beyond Creation Science back in the 2000s, and he'll be out speaking as well on the history of the world, actually, from a different perspective. Looking forward to that. Mm-hmm. We have Pastor Zach Davis from Mark Tree Baptist Church in Arkansas, Mark Tree, Arkansas. And I believe he's set for the idea of the Sabbath, the theology of the Sabbath and eschatology, the eschatology of the Sabbath. And I think he was talking about another topic as well. Has he talked to you about any other?
Not yet. He's still mulling over it, how to title it, but he said he's going to be around that topic of the Sabbath.
Okay, very good. And then we have Rick Welch from North Carolina and the Burroughs of Berea podcast. He is scheduled to be out as well. I think his topic is going to be A Hitchhiker's Guide to the Proto-Evangelium, or the first promise of the gospel in Genesis 3. Mm-hmm. I'm looking forward to that. He's he's been doing a lot of study. I've noticed a lot of comments, a lot of study, a lot of posts about Genesis issues and stuff. And I think he just did an interview on the Burroughs of Berea with John Walton.
Yes, he did. It was awesome.
Yeah, I think that was a really good experience, both for him and for the rest of the cast of Burroughs of Berea.
Right.
So that's 4, and that leaves, of course, you're a speaker, Steve. So why don't you explain your topic, and then I'll explain mine.
Right. Well, I am actually planning to explore the eschatology that is presented in the luminaries, in the sun, the moon, and the stars on the 4th day, and then just a follow up on that in the second lecture. I want to develop how, for instance, when you go through the scriptures, you see the prophets and Jesus and the book of Revelation always putting these events. There'll be signs in the stars and the
Right.
moon and the constellations, and just to help people understand how that originates from Genesis and how that is presented throughout the scriptures and what it actually means, how it is to be understood from a biblical and ancient Near East context.
Very good. Yeah, I look forward to that. And there's Jeremiah 31, and there's
yes. So I'm gonna get into that,
Right.
where it talks about, if this order is ever to be removed, then also there will be a big change in the covenants, and so that's
Right.
what I'm planning to focus on.
Right. So yeah, and that leaves my 2 presentations. The first one I'm going to be dealing with is the first and the second, a biblical theology of the first and the second. And I think this is one thing that confuses people a little bit, because we tend to think of the Old Testament broken up in a bunch of different separate covenants. But I want to show how the Old Covenant is really the first covenant. And the second, of course, is the everlasting new covenant. There's a lot of contrast there that can go on, with one being mortal, one being temporary, and then one being perfect and one being eternal. And there's a lot of comparison there that I actually think plays out typologically in a lot of Israel's history.
Right.
That's what I've kind of noticed. And even in like the lives of the patriarchs, you have a repeating theme about patriarchs having a son, their first son, who ends up being disinherited, by the way.
Yes.
And then the second son is the one that receives the inheritance. That happens quite a bit. I think that's a very interesting typological thing. We have 2 kingdoms in Israel, 2 houses in the kingdoms of Israel. The first one was well, let's say there was a lot to be desired.
Right.
In the first kingdom of Israel, of course, that was a mortal kingdom, because with Saul and Jonathan's death, that was the end of the house of Saul, and transferred to the everlasting kingdom of David. So this whole first and second thing is a very big theme. I want to flesh out some of that stuff. And it's going to play into my second talk, which will be the eschatology of the firmament. And the firmament, of course, is what's created in the original creation.
Right.
And that's actually part of the priesthood system, part of the tabernacle, part of the temple system as well. And the firmament comes up in the book of Revelation as well. There's an eschatology to the firmament that removes that barrier, bring God's people into God's presence. So that's kind of the 2 talks that I have kind of developing now, and some of the material I've spoken on before, and this is definitely going to be a kind of a development and addition into some of those details.
Awesome. So it's going to be a truly enriching experience, especially for those who have been coming newcomers into preterism, those that have been learning about fulfilled eschatology. I think that this is going to be a real feast, just to be able to see that the eschatology of the Bible is not just at the ends of the Bible, but actually it is presented from the very beginning as being the goal of God's redemptive plan, being the goal of the message that is being presented.
I think that's one of the most amazing things to think about is that even in Genesis, you have with Genesis 1 and Genesis 2 and Genesis 3, we are seeing typological prophetic details being introduced that the rest of the scriptures are going to unfold. And that is a powerful testimony to the inspiration of the Bible, to the power of God's planned salvation of his people, and how all of those details are worked out in Israel's history, in the wider context of the world history of the Old Covenant kingdoms that interacted with God in various ways, even with Babel and going back to Noah and things like that. So I think I agree. I think it's going to be a fantastic week of very deep and profound discussion. We're hoping to have question and answer times every evening here at the conference as well, so that people can actually speak with the speakers, ask questions, and then kind of develop things from there. So that'll be a really good setup for the evening conferences.
Absolutely. And if I can mention, Tim, the actual titles of my talks are going to be, the first one is the Eschatology of the Sun, Moon, and Stars, which of course is out of Genesis, chapter number 1, on day number 4. And then the second talk is going to be on the eschatology of the earth and the sea, which is also part of Genesis 1, because in the beginning God created the heaven, the earth, and the sea. And so to show how those themes are played out in the scriptures and in the symbolism of eschatology.
Well, very good. Well, if anybody wants to look at the details of what we have planned and sort of description, they go to the website beyondcreationscience.com. That conference page right there has all the information. You can email us through that website or contact Steve directly through Ask the Pastor. And I'm really excited about it. I think that I already know some people that are coming. I'm looking forward to meet for the first time, and I think that's the fellowship is going to be fantastic, because we're going to have days free to just go spend time with each other and enjoy fellowship and each other's presence as well. So
just and I know this is just off of the cuff. There's a young man that called me from California. He's actually of Jewish origin. He became a believer, and then he discovered fulfilled eschatology, and then he discovered covenant creation. I mean, he is so excited. We had like an hour-long conversation. It's like, man, I can't wait to be in Montana to meet you guys and to learn, and just because he also wants to really take an active role in spreading the message. And so I also know some people that are going to be coming that are going to be, it's going to be an awesome off the chains fellowship.
I think so too. And if anybody has any questions, you can hit comments, like the video, help us spread the word, send it out to your friends, send it out to your church family or whatever. And if you have questions, definitely hit us with questions in the comment section. We'll do our best to kind of work through any details.
Absolutely. So my last word is get your ticket today. Go to Eventbrite, go to Beyond Creation Science, get your ticket today. Let's get together, let's fellowship, let's have fun together as we learn the word of God.